I woke up one night, my body paralyzed as if trapped in a cage. My eyes darted around the room, searching for any sign of movement, but all remained still and eerily silent. Panic surged through my veins as I realized I couldn't move a muscle, not even to scream. It was the dreaded phenomenon known as sleep paralysis. The room was shrouded in darkness, the moonlight barely penetrating the heavy curtains. Shadows danced on the walls, their grotesque forms unsettling. I tried to call for help, but my voice was nothing more than a feeble whisper, drowned out by the oppressive stillness. Suddenly, I caught a glimpse of movement in the corner of my eye. A figure, slender and dark, emerged from the shadows. Its limbs elongated, contorting in unnatural ways as it crept closer. Its face was hidden beneath a tangle of matted hair, but I could feel its malicious intent emanating from the depths of its being. My heart pounded in my chest, a desperate plea for escape. But no matter how hard I strained against the invisible restraints, I remained trapped, at the mercy of this horrifying apparition. Fear gripped me like icy talons, paralyzing not just my body, but my mind as well. The figure inched closer, its movements fluid yet jagged, like a marionette manipulated by a malevolent puppeteer. I tried to avert my gaze, to shield my eyes from its grotesque form, but I was powerless to look away. It drew nearer still, until it loomed over my paralyzed body. A cold breath grazed my cheek, sending shivers down my spine. Its fetid stench filled the air, a sickening mix of decay and despair. I could feel its presence seeping into my very soul, as if it were feeding off my fear. Each passing second felt like an eternity, stretching the boundaries of my sanity. Just when I thought I couldn't bear it any longer, a faint whisper broke through the suffocating silence. It was a voice, distant yet familiar, echoing within the recesses of my mind. It spoke of salvation, of a way to break free from this nightmarish prison. I strained to listen, my heart clinging to the hope of escape. "Open your eyes," the voice urged, its tone both soothing and urgent. "Look beyond the darkness, and you shall find the light." Summoning the last ounce of courage within me, I forced my eyelids to part, exposing my terrified gaze to the unknown. And there, amidst the suffocating darkness, I saw it, a flicker of light, tiny yet radiant. It glowed with a warmth that beckoned me forward, promising safety and solace. As I fixated on the shimmering light, the figure recoiled, its malevolence fading into the shadows. With each beat of my heart, the paralysis relinquished its hold, and I regained control of my body. I leaped out of bed, sweat-soaked and trembling, but with a newfound determination. With trembling steps, I followed the faint glow, which led me to a closed door at the end of the hallway. As I reached for the doorknob, anticipation mingled with trepidation. Slowly, I turned it, pushing the door open. What I discovered on the other side took my breath away. It was a room bathed in ethereal light, adorned with vibrant colors and delicate tapestries. A soft breeze rustled the curtains, filling the air with a sweet fragrance. It was a sanctuary, a haven from the horrors I had endured. In that moment, I realized the true nature of my sleep paralysis. It wasn't a malevolent force preying on my vulnerability, but rather a guardian spirit trying to communicate with me. The figure that had haunted my nightmares was not a sinister entity, but a misunderstood presence that had been reaching out to guide me. Overwhelmed by gratitude and awe, I stepped into the sanctuary, closing the door behind me. The room enveloped me in a sense of peace and tranquility, as if all the horrors of the night had been left behind. The guardian spirit, now free from the constraints of the sleep paralysis, materialized before me in a gentle, radiant form. With a voice that echoed like a soft breeze, the spirit spoke, "You have shown great courage and resilience. Your journey through the darkness has brought you here, to this place of solace. Fear not, for I am your guide, your protector." Tears welled up in my eyes as I absorbed the profound words. The guardian spirit had been with me all along, navigating me through the horrors of my own mind, urging me to overcome my fears. I had misunderstood its intentions, misinterpreting its presence as something sinister. From that moment on, the guardian spirit became my constant companion, leading me through the shadows of sleep and protecting me from the terrors that once haunted my nights. It taught me to embrace the darkness within and find strength and vulnerability. No longer did sleep paralysis hold me captive, it became a gateway to a realm of wonder and self-discovery. As I ventured deeper into the sanctuary, guided by the guardian spirit, I unearthed hidden truths about myself. I confronted my deepest fears, confronted my past traumas, and found healing in the process. The room became a sanctuary not just for my sleep, but for my soul. In time, I learned to wield the power of my dreams and channel the strength of the guardian spirit. It transformed my waking life as well, empowering me to face the challenges that lay before me. With newfound clarity and purpose, I embraced the world with renewed vigor, spreading the message of resilience and hope. And so, the tale of my sleep paralysis took a remarkable turn. What once seemed like a nightmarish curse became a transformative journey. The darkness had concealed the light, and the guardian spirit had been patiently waiting for me to see beyond the shadows. Now, I share my story with others, offering solace and understanding to those trapped in the grip of sleep paralysis. For within the darkest corners of our minds, there lies the potential for incredible growth and enlightenment. And perhaps, just like me, they too will find their own guardian spirit, patiently guiding them from the realm of nightmares into the realm of dreams. I remember that night vividly, the night I experienced the most horrifying and inexplicable phenomenon, sleep paralysis. It was a chilly winter evening, and I had just settled into bed, exhausted after a long day. Little did I know that the next few hours would be filled with unimaginable terror. As I drifted off to sleep, an eerie sensation crept over me. I became aware of a strange presence in the room, as if someone or something was watching me. A cold shiver ran down my spine, and I tried to shake off the feeling, dismissing it as mere paranoia. But then it happened. I woke up, or so I thought. My body lay motionless, trapped within its own prison. Panic set in as I realized I couldn't move a muscle. My heart pounded in my chest, and beads of sweat formed on my forehead. I struggled to scream, but not a sound escaped my lips. It was as if I was trapped within my own body, a helpless witness to the events unfolding around me. I strained my eyes, desperately trying to make sense of my surroundings. The room was cloaked in darkness, with only a faint glow from the moonlight creeping through the curtains. Shadows danced ominously along the walls, distorting the familiar shapes of my furniture. As I struggled against the invisible restraints, I caught a glimpse of movement out of the corner of my eye. A figure, draped in a tattered black cloak, emerged from the shadows. Its face was obscured, hidden beneath a hood, but its presence exuded an aura of malevolence. A cold breeze brushed against my skin, carrying with it an otherworldly scent, a mixture of decaying leaves and rotting flesh. Fear gripped me tightly as the figure drew closer. Its bony, elongated fingers reached out, inches away from touching my paralyzed body. I desperately tried to turn my head, to look away from the horrifying visage, but my neck remained immobile, as if frozen in time. And then, just as I thought I couldn't bear the terror any longer, something unexpected happened. The figure recoiled, a sudden expression of surprise etched across its invisible face. It turned abruptly and vanished into the darkness, leaving behind a trail of uncertainty and confusion. Relief washed over me as my body regained its freedom, and I sat up, gasping for air. It took a few moments for me to collect myself and regain control over my trembling limbs. I glanced around the room, half expecting the figure to reappear, but there was no sign of its return. As I reflected on the harrowing experience, a realization struck me like a bolt of lightning. The figure had been fearful, not menacing. Its surprise was genuine, as if it hadn't expected to encounter me in that state. But why? What could have frightened an apparition that had caused me such distress? Curiosity and a thirst for answers compelled me to research sleep paralysis and the entities associated with it. As I delved deeper into the subject, I stumbled upon an obscure legend, a tale of a tormented soul doomed to wander the earthly realm, forever searching for release. According to the legend, The only way to break the curse was to confront the entity in a state of sleep paralysis. And if the trapped soul possessed enough strength to face the apparition head-on, it would be freed from its eternal torment. In that moment, a chilling realization dawned on me: I had unwittingly helped an imprisoned soul find solace. The figure that had haunted me that fateful night wasn't a malevolent force, but a tormented spirit seeking liberation. Sleep paralysis had taken me to the edge of my sanity, but in the end, it had allowed me to become a part of something greater, something beyond the realm of ordinary existence. It was a twisted plot twist that turned my terrifying encounter into a tale of redemption and release. From that night onward, I approached sleep with a newfound anticipation, eager to explore the unknown and aid other trapped souls in finding their salvation. With each episode of sleep paralysis, I encountered different spirits, each with their own stories of anguish and yearning. Some were lost souls, doomed to wander without purpose, while others were burdened with guilt and remorse. I became a conduit for their pain, a vessel through which they could confront their fears and find closure. It was a symbiotic relationship of sorts, a mutual exchange of energy and catharsis. As the nights passed, I delved deeper into the mysteries of sleep paralysis, documenting my experiences, and seeking answers from ancient texts and esoteric sources. I discovered rituals and practices that could amplify the connection between the realms of the living and the dead, allowing me to aid more souls in their journey to liberation. But with every newfound knowledge came the risk of danger. I soon realized that not all entities I encountered were benign. There were malevolent forces lurking in the ethereal realm, waiting to exploit the vulnerability of the trapped spirits and manipulate their desperation for their own sinister purposes. I became entangled in a battle between light and darkness, fighting to protect the lost souls from falling prey to the malevolent entities. The line between my own reality and the world of sleep paralysis began to blur, and I found myself questioning my own sanity. But my determination to help these tormented souls propelled me forward, despite the risks. One fateful night, as I ventured deeper into the darkness, I encountered a formidable adversary. An entity of immense power, its presence suffocating and suffusing the air with malevolence. It sought to consume the souls I had helped, to extinguish their flickering hope and trap them in eternal torment. In that moment of despair, as the malevolent entity closed in on me, the spirits I had liberated rallied around me, their combined energy shielding me from the darkness. It was a revelation, a realization that their redemption was intertwined with my own. Their freedom was my purpose, and their strength was my armor. With renewed resolve, I confronted the malevolent entity, channeling the collective energy of the liberated souls. It was a battle of wills, a clash between the forces of good and evil. In a blinding surge of light, the malevolent entity was vanquished, its power shattered by the resilience of the tormented spirits it had sought to enslave. As the darkness receded, a serene calm washed over me. The souls I had liberated drifted away, ascending towards their final destination, a realm of eternal peace. They had found their redemption, and in turn, they had given me mine. I emerged from the ordeal forever changed, bearing witness to the fragile balance between the realms of the living and the dead. Sleep paralysis had become a twisted gift, a conduit for me to guide lost souls towards their salvation. And though the journey was treacherous, it was a path I willingly embraced, for it had revealed the depths of courage and compassion that lay within the human spirit. So, dear listener, beware the darkness that may envelop your sleep, for within it lies a world unseen, where the trapped souls yearn for release. And should you ever find yourself trapped in the paralysis of slumber, know that there is a flicker of hope amidst the terror, a chance to uncover the unexpected, and perhaps, bring light to the darkest corners of your own soul. I woke up in the middle of the night, bathed in a cold sweat, unable to move a muscle. My heart pounded in my chest as I tried to break free from the invisible chains that held me down. Panic surged through my veins as I realized I was experiencing sleep paralysis. I strained my eyes, desperately scanning the room for any signs of movement. Shadows danced ominously on the walls, and a chilling breeze whispered through the cracks in the window. It felt as if unseen eyes were watching me, their presence lurking just beyond my line of sight. Suddenly, I noticed a faint scraping sound coming from the corner of the room. The noise grew louder and more distinct with each passing second, sending shivers down my spine. I strained my ears, trying to pinpoint its origin, but the darkness played tricks on my senses. A metallic tang filled the air, assaulting my nostrils. It was the unmistakable scent of blood. I felt a surge of dread wash over me, knowing that something was horribly wrong. The scraping sound grew closer, accompanied by a guttural whisper that slithered into my ears, sending a chill down my spine. I strained my eyes once more, and to my horror, I saw a figure emerge from the shadows. Its hunched silhouette crept closer, its movements unnatural and jerky. It was a disheveled woman, her matted hair obscuring her face, her torn and blood-stained clothes barely clinging to her frail frame. Paralyzed with fear, I could do nothing but watch as she approached, her eyes gleaming with a malevolent hunger. She raised a trembling hand, and in her grasp, she held a rusted blade, the metal reflecting the moonlight that filtered through the window. Time seemed to stand still as she drew closer, her ragged breath echoing in my ears. With each step, the stench of decay grew stronger, filling my nostrils with the sickly sweet scent of death. I could almost feel her cold, clammy fingers brushing against my skin. Just as I thought I could bear it no longer, the room suddenly fell silent. The figure halted, her eyes fixed on something beyond my field of vision. A muffled creaking sound reached my ears, followed by a low growl that sent chills down my spine. A new presence had entered the room, one that exuded power and darkness. The woman's gaze shifted, her fear now palpable. The atmosphere shifted, the air heavy with an unspoken threat. I strained my eyes, desperate to catch a glimpse of the mysterious interloper, and then, as if by magic, the darkness parted, revealing a towering figure. It was a man, cloaked in shadows, his eyes burning with an otherworldly light. With a single motion of his hand, the woman was thrown back, the blade slipping from her grasp. I watched in awe as the man approached me, his gaze unwavering. He reached out his hand, and as he touched my forehead, a surge of energy coursed through me, breaking the paralysis that held me captive. I gasped for air, my limbs shaking as I regained control over my body. As I sat up, I turned to thank the man, but he was gone, vanished into thin air. The room returned to its normal state, the shadows receding, and the air devoid of the stench of death. It was as if the entire episode had been nothing more than a terrible nightmare, but the lingering sense of unease remained, a haunting reminder that something far more sinister had occurred. And as I lay back down, my mind plagued with questions, I couldn't help but wonder, was it all just a figment of my imagination, or had I encountered something beyond the realm of the living? The more I pondered, the more uncertain I became. Days turned into weeks, and yet, the memory of that night refused to fade. The small details, the eerie atmosphere, the palpable fear, I couldn't shake them off. I delved into research, desperate to find answers, and that's when I stumbled upon an ancient legend. It spoke of a malevolent spirit, a vengeful entity known as the Night Hag. According to the lore, the Night Hag preyed upon unsuspecting souls, tormenting them in their sleep, feeding off their fear. It was said that only a chosen few possessed the power to banish this malefic presence. Could it be that the man who had appeared in my room was one of those chosen few? Was he a guardian of sorts, protecting me from the clutches of the Night Hag? The more I considered this possibility, the more it resonated with the events that had unfolded. Yet, doubts gnawed at the edges of my mind. If the Night Hag had been vanquished, why did the unease persist? Why did I still sense a lingering presence, a faint whisper of something beyond comprehension? Driven by curiosity and a thirst for closure, I delved deeper into the mystery. I sought out those who had experienced similar encounters, hoping to find solace in shared stories. To my astonishment, I discovered a pattern. Others had encountered the Night Hag, and each time, a mysterious savior had appeared, vanquishing the entity. The plot thickened as I uncovered a hidden secret. The Night Hag wasn't acting alone, it was merely a pawn in a larger, more sinister game. It was part of an ancient ritual, designed to lure the chosen ones, the guardians, into revealing themselves. These guardians possessed a unique power, the ability to see beyond the veil, to perceive the supernatural. They were unwitting participants in a battle that spanned centuries, a battle between light and darkness, between those who sought to protect and those who sought to consume. As the pieces fell into place, a chilling realization dawned upon me. I was one of the chosen ones, destined to navigate this treacherous path, forever entwined with forces beyond my comprehension. The encounter with the night hag was merely the beginning, an initiation into a world filled with horrors and secrets. And so, with trepidation and a newfound resolve, I embraced my role as a guardian. I delved deeper into the mysteries that surrounded me, honing my senses, and uncovering ancient texts that held the key to unlocking my true potential. Each night, as I lay in bed, I braced myself for the unknown, knowing that the forces of darkness would forever seek to break through the barriers that separated our worlds. But armed with knowledge and the power that lay dormant within me, I stood ready to face the terrors that lurked in the shadows, determined to protect the realm of the living from the clutches of the night hag and its insidious masters. And so, dear listener, be warned. The realm of sleep is not always as peaceful as it seems. Within its depths, a battle rages on, unseen to most but felt by those who possess the gift of awareness. Will you join me in this perilous journey? Will you open your eyes to the truth that lies beyond the darkness? The choice is yours, and the consequences are beyond imagination.